I'm Rob Skinner, and this is the Rob Skinner Podcast. What if you could say and actually mean, I always do what pleases him? In this episode, we're diving into one of the most powerful statements Jesus ever made in the Gospel of John, chapters 8, verse 29. Only one person in history could say that perfectly, and that's exactly why he qualifies to be our Savior. But here's the tension. While we'll never reach flawless obedience on this side of eternity, we can grow into a life that increasingly pleases God. Today, we're going to talk about grace, growth, obedience, and what it looks like to start pleasing God, not perfectly, but progressively, one decision at a time. All this and more on the Rob Skinner Podcast. I hope you're having an amazing, amazing year so far in 2026. Today, I want to talk about Jesus' phrase when he says, I always do what pleases him. I'm going through some of my favorite scriptures. I've got a whole power pack of 3x5 cards that I've accumulated all my favorite scriptures over the years and quotes as well. And this is one of my favorites. John chapter 8, verse 29 says, the one who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, for I always do what pleases him. I remember a friend of mine just kind of remarking about that. What a statement that was. And then I just read it and I thought, it is just so remarkable. Who can say that? I always do what pleases him. I've never heard someone say that. I always do what pleases God. Can you imagine being able to say what Jesus said in John 8:29? I always do what pleases him. Just think about that. What would it be like to live even one single day where everything you thought, everything you said, and everything you did pleased God completely? No regret, no selfishness, no sin. That's what made Jesus unique. His consistency in doing the will of the Father qualified him to be our perfect Savior. Jesus wasn't just a good example. He was the only person who ever perfectly pleased God. Now, I know this is not new to you if you're listening to this. Like, I understand that, of course. But that's why the Father's voice just thundered from heaven. This is my Son whom I love. With him, I am well pleased. You just feel the pride just radiating from the Father when he looked at Jesus, because everything he did was absolutely perfect and he was humble at the same time. But you and I fall short every single day. We have moments of pride, anger, laziness, doubt. There's times we know we've missed the mark, then times we've sinned and didn't even realize it. But here's the good news. Because Jesus always did what pleased the Father, his righteousness gets credited to us. When God looks at a believer, he sees the obedience of Jesus covering our failures. It's as if we had always done the right thing. Now that's grace. That's the gospel. Now, does that mean we stop striving to please God? Oh, Jesus is so perfect. We can never be perfect. Therefore, why even try? Just let him do all the work. Not at all. That's where sanctification comes in. That's a long word, means the process of becoming more like Jesus or being set apart, just step by step. We're not saved by obedience, but we grow through obedience. Every time we humble ourselves, we forgive others, we serve or obey when it's hard, we're learning to walk as Jesus walked. The goal is not perfection, but progress. Maybe instead of trying to be perfect for a lifetime, just shrink that horizon a little bit and just start a little bit smaller. Think about it in this way. Think, okay, can I please God for an hour? Can I respond to the challenge that's facing me here in a way that honors him? Breaking it down into smaller chunks helps us build the spiritual muscle of obedience. I want you to think back to a time when you were really living obediently. Maybe it was just a short period of time. Maybe it was a day. Maybe when you felt like your hearts were soft, your prayers were alive, and your faith was growing. What were you doing differently? I could think about a time when I was a young Christian. I was on the campus at UC Berkeley, and I remember we were just meeting on the grass. And I just remember kind of blurting out, like, I didn't sin today. That's what I told everyone in my small group. Here I'm like 20, and I'm like, I didn't sin today. I didn't say it like boastfully. I was just so excited because I just felt like, man, this is so awesome. I just felt free. I just felt so happy. And I really felt like I didn't have any sin that I knew of. Now, there sure could have been sin that I just was not aware of. I'm certainly could have been blind to it, but just remember the excitement of just feeling like I'm so filled up with the excitement and love for God that I didn't think about sinning. It wasn't like I was looking for something else. I was just so happy all day that there was no room in my mind for sin. And I just think about that. I think I genuinely meant that. I was just so happy at the time. But think about your own situation. Maybe there's a time when you just felt like sin wasn't really an issue. Maybe the temptation for lust or for pride just wasn't there. Were you spending more time in prayer or in the word? Think about it. Were you surrounded by encouraging brothers and sisters? Were you more aware of God's presence? Those habits, that behavior doesn't happen by accident. They created the conditions where obedience flourished. And you can reinsert those same rhythms into your life now. Here's a simple prayer you can carry into your day. Father, help me to please you with my thoughts, my words, and my actions, not out of guilt, but out of love. Make my will align with yours. Real simple. And when you pray that way, you're participating in the same mindset Jesus had. Not my will, but yours be done. Now, we may never reach this side of heaven or eternity where we can say, I always do what pleases him, but we can certainly grow toward it. And the more we walk with Jesus, the more our hearts begin to echo his. So today, just start small. Just decide, okay, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to please him. I'm going to please him in this conversation. I'm not going to just cut into the person. I'm going to really listen. I'm not going to just tune out. Maybe the next decision, I'm going to not sin. The next moment of temptation. And when you stumble, just remember, his righteousness still covers you completely. That's the balance of grace and growth. And that's what it means to live as a 10x Christian, pursuing God's pleasure, empowered by his grace. Thanks for listening. Here's how you can help support the program. First, sign up for my weekly newsletter. I am sending out a newsletter to keep in touch with my listeners, and I'd love to keep in touch with you. And so please go to my website at robskinner.com and sign up. I think I offer a free chapter of my latest book as an enticement to get you to sign up for my newsletter. I'd just love to keep in touch with you. Secondly, read and review one of my books. Specifically, I'd love for you to read and review my latest book, The 10X Christian. And it's got a study guide. If you're in a church and you want to do like group study, it's really fantastic. You can find that on my website, or else you can just go straight to Amazon.com and buy it off the website. Because my goal is to inspire you to live a no regrets life, make this life count, and multiply disciples, leaders, and churches. Have a great day and make this life count.